Do you use the door opening sound effect in Backrooms?
It's very possible.
Half in the bag.
Of all the great literature in the world, Jay, you're reading Star Trek The Next Generation meets the X-Men. How embarrassing.
Well, I'll just read pure Star Trek then.
Oh, that's not a book. Do you have problems with your brain?
What happened to the VHS tape that was in here? Remember when we used to fix VCRs?
Oh yeah, this is the one we're supposed... Whoa. Mr. Plinkett's phone is ringing?
Oh my god. I can't remember the last time someone called Mr. Plinkett. I can't remember the last time I saw Mr. Plinkett.
He even has a cell phone. What, this is his house phone?
Yeah, go pick it up, see who it is.
Oh god, I have to...
Hurry up before they hang up.
Okay. Oh! I fell over. Wait, don't hang up. Don't hang up. Shit.
Be careful, you don't want to tangle your wired microphone.
Hello? No. He's not home right now. His account is overdrawn. That's why our checks have been bouncing for Mr. Plinkett for the VCR repair work we've been doing.
How long have the checks been bouncing?
How long have the checks been bouncing?
No, I'm asking you. We're the ones who get the checks.
Oh, let me get back into folklore range.
Oh.
Oh God, like a month now at least.
Why are we still here?
I don't know. Why are we still here? Well, geez, Jay, this is a problem. Why are we still here? I guess we're here to talk about a new movie called Backrooms.
I found something in the store.
Okay. What did you find?
Backrooms is the new film from veteran director Kane Parsons and brought to you by A24 and McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm lost in it. Backrooms is a film about a man named Clark that owns a sad furniture store and has an even sadder life. One day he discovers a mysterious passage in a wall that leads to an M.C. Escher painting of empty rooms, doors, and passageways. Clark is an architect that can't plan his own life. And the co-star of the film is Mary, a therapist plagued by emotional trauma. Together they star in Star Wars Backrooms, the first Star Wars film in theaters in a week.
I put my coffee in this giant mug, and now I can't get to the coffee.
God, you really are dumb.
It's like I'm drinking out of a soup bowl. Why did I do this?
It's a big mug.
I'm stuck in a nightmare of my own creation.
Right, yeah. I should have gone with a regular coffee mug.
Mike, we're here to talk about The Backrooms.
Is it The Backrooms or just Backrooms?
I thought it was The Backrooms, but the title card of the movie just said Backrooms. So
one-word titles are all the rage, Jay.
that's true.
Obsession, you saw that?
Obsession, Backrooms, The Mandalorian and Grogu, a Star Wars adventure. Just one word, hyphenated.
The new To Catch a Predator film is called Primetime?
Primetime, yeah. Which I didn't even know that existed until that trailer showed up. I didn't know what it was when it started. And then when he said, I'm Chris Hansen.
Yeah.
I'm Chris Hansen.
Catch us predators.
I was like, what?
What?
What is this nonsense?
It almost seems like it's like a fictionalized dramatic version of, like,
I mean,
turned into a horror movie.
who knows what's going to happen?
What are movies anymore?
Movies are small budget things that catch on the internet. I think it's interesting and kind of neat that the last 2 weeks, Obsession has been doing really well. Everyone's excited for this Backrooms movie. There was a fucking Star Wars movie that came out a week ago, and everybody's talking about Obsession instead. Nobody cares about this Star Wars.
Well, Obsession came out before the Star Wars.
It came out a week before, and then Star Wars came out.
People are still talking about Obsession?
People are still talking about Obsession.
Now they're going to be talking about Backrooms.
It did, Obsession did better its second weekend than it did its first weekend.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And did Grogu drop off?
Grogu is done, it's one of those things where, like, depending on the article you read, they paint on if it's a failure or not. Mandalorian Grogu made its budget back.
By saying how much it cost.
That's not a good thing, though. You have to make a profit.
Yeah.
It made back its budget in the box office. That's not including the theater's take. That's not including marketing.
I saw one thing that said The Mandalorian Grogu earned $165 million its opening weekend. Its budget was $160 million. like as in like we're supposed
to try and make it sound like it was
yeah,
successful.
Like why is there an angle? Why is there a political angle? I mean, that movie was marketed all to hell. It was everywhere.
Mm-hmm. That's why I think it's interesting when, like, Obsession has been total word of mouth, where people are like, you got to go see this movie, and then it catches on from there.
This movie's been marketed quite a bit.
It has, yeah. That's kind of the difference between the Obsession was like grassroots. It just kind of naturally got popular.
Yeah. Well, the stuff I saw about Obsession was that it cost $750,000 to make.
Yes.
And this Backrooms cost $20 million or something in that range.
Okay.
And Obsession, I don't know if that was a self-financed kind of deal and like a...
I know it was picked up by Blumhouse. It wasn't made by Blumhouse.
Right, and this was made by A24.
A24 with like the producers are like Sean Levy and Oz Perkins.
Big name producers.
James Wan.
Right, and so obviously all those weird horror guys were interested in the Backrooms concept when it was on the internet, so it's okay, let's do that. So they're different.
Yeah. The interesting angle with Backrooms is the only thing comparable to it would have been that Slender Man movie.
Who's Slender Man? Wait, he's the guy who makes all those kids disappear. Why have I not heard of this?
Where it's like a studio is like, hey, this thing is popular. Yeah. It's developed this weird following and all this lore and all this talk online, but that's like, Slender Man is like the cynical studio movie. And this is like, we're actually gonna let this 20-year-old make this movie.
Yeah. And now Curry Barker, who made Obsession, is making a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. What's the connection there, Jay? Are you dense?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Slender Man, Wisconsin. Backrooms, Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre was based
Ed
on
Gein.
Ed Gein, Wisconsin. I mean, when is Wisconsin going to start seeing some money from Hollywood?
The A24 movie Backrooms hits theaters 2 weeks from today.
And as many things in life, the horror film has ties to Wisconsin.
I forgot. I think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think of Texas. I forgot that it was inspired by Ed Gein.
You're off your game today. You can't read. You have a giant coffee cup. And
I think I'm stuck in the back rooms.
Yeah, I think so. I think your brain's in the back rooms. But yeah, so and then of course there's Shelby Oaks.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I saw Shelby Oaks. This isn't a joke.
It's not that bad.
It's real bad.
Oh.
Here's the thing. Okay, we'll talk about this. We talked about.
Why did you watch Shelby Oaks and why didn't you invite me?
We're not going to rag on Chris Stuckman and Shelby Oaks too much, but it's interesting, this trend recently of, although Chris Stuckman's a little bit older, but Curry Barker's 25 or 26, Kane Parsons is 20, all these like young YouTubers making movies, and Chris Stuckman's a little bit older.
And the kids who made Talk to Me.
Talk to Me and Bring Her Back. Like the era, there used to be that like thought of like, oh, it's a YouTuber movie. And it was like the Smosh movie, the Fred movie, right. Space Cop.
The Angry Video Game Nerd movie. Yeah, I understand that. Ryan's Toy Reviews. But the thing is, when people are saying, I guess all those movies you just mentioned gave it a bad like vibe. But when people are like, where's this YouTuber get to make a big movie, you know? And it's like, well, they're not just YouTubers. The YouTubers of today that are making short films and experimenting and uploading to YouTube and all that are just the filmmakers of the 90s that were making videos on their home movie cameras. And then the filmmakers of the 70s that were shooting student films on 16mm film. I mean, you just start somewhere.
Yeah, YouTube is just a platform. It's just a place to post anything.
Yeah, I mean, Steven Spielberg made Duel when he was 21 years old because he made student films, and someone caught their eye. You make a YouTube video and it catches the eye of someone. They say, "Come on and make a movie." It's the same exact thing.
I am a little surprised they let Kane Parsons make this. Because he is only 20. It's like I mentioned, the Slender Man movie. Like, that's a classic case of like, oh, here's this thing that's popular on the internet. We're just going to make a movie of it.
Right.
But this is like, no, this is a popular thing on the internet. They had enough faith in the guy that created it, or not created it, but made his version of it. Hey, he has an interesting perspective. We're going to take a chance and let him make this movie, as opposed to just like take it away from him or pay him, Hollywoodize it,
corporatize.
Which is going into the review of the movie, the best thing about it. It doesn't feel like a generic studio horror film. It has its own style, its own pace.
The YouTuber to filmmaker pipeline is definitely like such a hot topic, and for good reason. Like, we've had so many incredible releases recently from people that have started their early days on YouTube. What is one thing about that like early process of making videos that you think has been the most useful to you in this whole experience of creating, a feature film?
What sells this movie is the concept, the pre-established lore and knowledge that, the kids that we saw coming into the theater look like people that would watch the Backrooms on YouTube and really be into it. So it has its own subculture that's like pre-built. And this is where I think the movie worked, or at least was successful, was blending that sort of like non-story horror thing with story, but not too much story, but not too little. Yeah. It found that balance, which I was shocked.
That's what I was most interested in. It's like, how do you make a movie adaptation of something that is intentionally contextless? Just a series of weird... I know there is somewhat of a story to his original YouTube videos. I've only seen a few of them. But yeah, how do you take that and put it in a narrative form without losing what made it interesting? And I think they did a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, albeit a little straightforward and almost like just enough.
Yeah, it got more interesting as it went along. It started to get fucking weird. And I was like, I could have used this 45 minutes ago. But I think they were trying to ease people into, like, maybe people that aren't aware of any of this backroom stuff. If you've never seen any of those videos or know what this stuff looks like, and you're just going into it, you're kind of discovering it along with the main character.
Accessibility,
so I get it.
Was well set up too.
Yeah.
I thought, like, right out of the gate, it starts with like a VHS, tape of, that's what the YouTube videos are, of some guy going through the back rooms, one of the people in the biohazard suits, and he's playing with cassette tapes and talking to the home base and all that. And I'm like, this should be rewarded. The back rooms should be something like that we get rewarded to see 20 minutes, 30 minutes into the movie. We set up all of our characters, and I was like, well, and then we move into it, and I was like, oh, okay. After a while, I kind of forgot about that, and it started to work better. But the main character is Clark.
I wrote down both the actors' names.
Yeah.
I wrote them down phonetically.
Oh, thanks.
Because I don't know how to pronounce either of them. Chiwetel Ejiofor and
Clark.
Renata Reinsve.
Okay.
Who was in Sentimental Value last year.
Yeah.
Very good in that movie.
Yes.
Good in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, both the actors are great. Clark plays a furniture store owner who is an alcoholic and who has been divorced from his wife, who is not a failed architect, an architect who put his career to the side to help his wife go through grad school, and then they ended up having a divorce, or a fight that led to a divorce. And
he's holding on to that.
Yeah, and that first scene with him and Mary, what's her name?
Renata.
She plays a therapist. So conveniently, he's an architect, deals with physical buildings and shapes and, things like that. And she's a therapist.
I'm assuming
deals with the mind.
Yes. I'm assuming the furniture store is a nod to the history of the Backrooms, which I thought was clever.
Which we'll get into.
Sure.
Of course. And that first scene where they're therapying. Is that what it's called?
That's exactly what it's called.
I was like, and it's like it's kind of like flat angles, and I was just like kind of bored, and the dialogue wasn't really strong, and it wasn't believable. I don't know if he wrote this.
He co-wrote it with kind of a more veteran writer, a guy who's worked on like Westworld and like TV show stuff.
Okay.
So it seems like between him being partnered up to write it and the producers on the movie, they were kind of, even though he's a younger guy and they're taking a chance on him, they were kind of like giving him some guidance, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, that was the thing that stood out. Was some of the dialogue initially was, it felt like someone who was 20 trying to write mature dialogue for an adult who has been married for X amount of years and who had a fight and a divorce, and it was like, you got that little, but after that, gets better.
Yes. And the dialogue in that scene comes back later in a way that is satisfying.
Everything was like, well set up, well tied together, and things that I didn't think were going to happen happened. Surprises. It wasn't like predictable. I don't know. I don't want to say loved this movie. I
almost did.
It was missing something. And the thing is like, if I really didn't like it, I would have said, you got to have a character or two that. Why don't you make the main guy an architect? Why don't you have him pair up with a therapist, and they're trying to figure this thing out, and then it could tie back into their own personal lives, and that's what happened.
Without getting bogged down in it. It has a lot of just like soaking it in.
Because her baggage is, when she was a child, she lived with what I presume was a single mother, single parent, and the mom is nuts, goes crazy after a while. They have this little cute home, and they're happy. And then she becomes a shut-in, and then I think they want to demo it, the house, to make way for condominiums, which ties in with the theme of like pushing levels down, and like the film's really about gentrification.
Sure.
And corporatization of.
And generational trauma.
And generational
because every movie's about generational trauma now.
And levels and history being destroyed and retold and destroyed and retold, recycled.
Once it gets into that stuff is when I was really getting into the movie. It took a little too long to get to that, because once it did, I was like, okay, now I'm on board. Like, this is interesting.
Because that was like, if here's the movie, that was like this.
Yeah.
If that was like this. Because the psychological element of the Backrooms is what made it super interesting to me. Yeah. I am not creeped out by liminal spaces, unless that liminal space has two identical twin girls that are ghosts that say, come play with us, Danny.
Sure.
Come and play with us, Danny. Forever.
Then I'm creeped out.
Yeah.
But liminal spaces by themselves, like, I don't know, I get it, but.
I think it's neat. Visually, it's neat, but I'm not creeped out by it necessarily.
No, exactly. Or am I like, there's a thing peeking around the hallway and, we got to run now, and don't care.
When concert venues are empty,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's so eerie and so creepy, because you only really see them when there's a bunch of people in there, right?
Yeah,
like
it's
when
built.
Yeah, it's built to have a bunch of people. So when there's no one in there, it feels kind of a little jarring a bit. So.
Yeah.
I'm creeped out by the, not creeped out, fascinated by the psychological aspects of it. My favorite shot in the movie was the shot where it starts with her childhood home.
Oh yeah.
And it's in disarray, and she's got newspapers on the windows, and it's a mess. And then it goes down one level, and it just kind of keeps like degrading, like a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
Yeah, which is kind of the theme of that's like surmises the entire movie.
Yeah.
That shot.
And that I was like, that's great. And then the ending, a lot of people aren't going to like the ending. I think that's why it has sort of half and half audience reactions, because the ending is abrupt and kind of hits you right in the face. Because I was expecting, like the Hollywood version, would have had them running and the back rooms changing and exploding as they're running. And
I thought that was going to be not quite so corny, but I thought it was going to have that element of the rooms changing. It never did that, which I loved.
It turned into that fucking movie with Leonardo DiCaprio.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
No, the one where he's running and everything's like tilting and
Titanic? The Titanic shifted.
Yeah. Where the whole city is being turned.
Yeah, Titanic.
No. The Dream Within a Dream. What? Russian roulette? Tenant?
I'm just gonna let you keep going.
Alien versus Predator Requiem? What is that called? Let me think.
You'll get it. I have faith in you.
It's a Christopher Nolan joint.
It is, yeah.
Can you give me the first letter of it? And I'll get it? So, as everyone's waiting. Some people have to go to work. Some people have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, are people still watching?
I don't know. What's the name of the fucking movie, Jay? Come on. Yes, as we both thought, it was going to turn into Inception, and they have to run, and everything's changing, and then monsters coming through. The finale of the film was her being chased by the pirate version of him, which was him in a weirdly degraded, copied form of his own psyche, expressed in the form of a disturbing caricature of his furniture store. That was his alter ego, because in the beginning he does the thing with the peg leg and he's trying to make the commercial, and that's his nightmare, is that's who he's become, is that wacky furniture salesman, and he wants to be an architect.
Yeah, that shot when they're filming the furniture commercial, it's kind of that, it's from the camera's perspective.
Yeah.
And it goes on for like a weirdly long time. I was like, this commercial just keeps going. Yeah. But then once you realize that is his nightmare, and the conclusion to it is him sitting down in a piece of his cheap-ass fucking furniture, and it just immediately breaks on him, I was like, okay, that was worth the setup. Yeah. That was worth how long that commercial went on for.
That was the part that someone did rewrites. It was Tim Robinson. He rewrote he wrote that scene.
Oh, okay.
Let me add this part in. I scrolled through some of the Backrooms videos. And I didn't sit down and watch them all because I got the gist. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, neat, monsters. And then there's the guys walking around trying to explore it. And the concept is, and you should touch on this too, the idea of lots of different internet mythologies about the Backrooms from different people and different message boards and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was surprised to learn. I saw a little interview snippet with Kane Parsons talking about, because this kind of built, it was like grassroots internet lore about the Backrooms, and it goes in all these different directions, and there's different versions of it. So I was surprised to learn that Kane Parsons was like unaware of that other stuff. He was just making his YouTube videos. So like this movie version is a continuation of kind of like what he established in his videos, but then there's other versions of it with different lore.
Can I just say, I first learned about Backrooms from you, and it was unrelated. You didn't even tell me.
Oh.
It was on Twitter, because I think I may have seen that picture somewhere.
Oh, the original Backrooms.
The original Backrooms. And I had no idea what it was. It was like a weird picture. I didn't even go to like a thread or anything. I just saw it somewhere. And so I recognized it, and you had done a tweet that said, wow, after all this time, it turns out the real Backrooms is in Wisconsin. Oh. That's the picture? That's a picture, and that's what? Like, no context whatsoever. I'm like, that must be a thing that people thought was creepy, and then now someone has found out that it's originally from Wisconsin.
A single photo captured during renovations inside a former furniture store in Oshkosh sparked an internet phenomenon spread through found footage, video games, and archival-style recordings.
But that leads into the idea of like, who owns this as an intellectual property?
Yeah,
I guess anyone can just make a Backrooms movie.
Yeah, because I made the joke about McDonald's.
Yeah.
McDonald's has been posting little videos of going through the Backrooms and finding like the McDonald's sign or, Fry Guy or whatever. And yeah.
Is the Hamburglar in there somewhere? That scamp?
Should be. Mayor McCheese.
He's stuck halfway in the floor.
Yeah. All that stuff to me is interesting. Like, who owns that? Because the people that made these sets, and they are sets.
Yes.
The original, he did not build sets. He rendered everything in like Blender.
Yeah. I was thinking about that during the movie. Like, that had to have been wild to start as a teenager making this shit in your bedroom on a computer, and now you're in like this huge set. Like,
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But the set design, the artistry going into designing these sets and all the weird, like, mind-bending imagery, things half sticking out of the wall and like nightmarish stuff like that. Some person came up with all that, and craftsfolk built all these sets in for real, and that is art. That is their creation. That is their copywritten work.
Because that exists outside of the Kane Parsons Backrooms universe too. Other people have done that kind of thing. And I saw something about someone on, like, I think it was Twitter, was saying, like, I supplied a sample of the actual wallpaper for them to use and scan so they would have high quality version of it, but I didn't get any credit for it. And it's like, well, where does that fall? Like, you didn't create any of this stuff. You just happen to have a piece of the wallpaper that was the same?
But the guy who took the original photo, I mean, some of these people might come looking for money.
I mean, especially now.
But then it's a transformative work. It's like someone looked at that photo and said, well, this could be a great inspiration for this. You know, so a lot of gray area.
Yeah.
Let's call it yellow area.
That's the internet era. That's what happens.
It's weird.
The closest comparison, I mentioned it to Slender Man. Same kind of idea, where it's like, who owns it? Nobody.
Yeah.
There's an Amityville Backrooms movie that actually came out like 2 years ago already. I skimmed through it a little bit. It's just a guy in a house.
A house?
Yeah, it's supposed to be the Backrooms. They didn't even tint it yellow.
Where is this door?
Now, theoretically, what if someone were to do that?
Make like a good version?
Well, so Backrooms, colon. Oh God, what are some of those titles?
Backrooms Revelations.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm looking for.
Backrooms Resurgence.
Yeah, something like that, right? So if someone were to make a movie, Backrooms Resurgence, and then they have the warehouse space to build sets that look exactly like that. Maybe the pattern might vary slightly. Then they walk around and they say, I found these back rooms, and then they have guys in hazmat science suits walking around, and like, at what point is the title Backrooms trademarked at this point? Because you can't make...
And if it is now, what do you do about all the backroom stuff that has already existed? Like, you can't retroactively go back and sue those people.
No.
They can't go back and sue the makers of Amityville Backrooms.
No.
There's an American Horror Stories episode that's set in the Backrooms. There's American Horror Story. American Horror Stories is the anthology one. And I watched some clips of it, and it's kind of like what we were talking about, like the Hollywoodized version of the Backrooms. Yeah. It's kind of like that. It's
I may have seen it. What happens in it?
I don't know. It's moodily. It's very dimly lit. It's lit like a horror movie.
Okay.
Which is another kudos to the cinematography for this film, because it's all very bright, which makes it creepier. Because that's the Backrooms.
Can I say something? We watched the trailer for the new Insidious film.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, And then I said to myself, I can't wait to watch this Backrooms movie because I'm going to be able to see what's happening. I was guaranteed bright cinematography.
I mean, they could have made it the horror movie version.
Yeah.
We can't have it all brightly lit. And that's what that American Horror Stories episode does.
Yeah. Yeah,
they ruined the entire concept.
That's a terrible studio note.
Yeah.
Why? It's not creepy if it's all bright. It needs to be darker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some stupid idiot.
You can't walk around for 5 minutes with nothing happening.
Right, without saying a single word.
Yes.
Without saying, now what's this? What's going on? I know how to Hollywoodize this. A group of those annoying kids that go and explore abandoned buildings.
Oh, sure.
Because I watched a terrible movie like that. I'll put the poster here, and that was the premise.
Okay.
Was that they explore this abandoned hotel, and scary things are there. It may have even been slightly Backrooms inspired.
I found out Severance was
Yes.
partially inspired by the Backrooms, all the endless hallways. It's like, oh, that makes sense.
But that movie was like 4 or 5 like annoying. Our YouTube channel views are down.
Oh God!
Like that. It was like, oh, it was a cringy nightmare. But so that's what they would do. And it'd be like, I'm Kayla. I'm the cool one with the pink hair.
82.
82,000 views? Holy shit, we're popping off.
Nope. 82.
I don't get it. Like, what do we have to do to make our channel slap?
No, our main character is an asshole alcoholic.
Yes.
It's great. Who doesn't want to let go of his grudge, which leads to all of his problems. It's wonderful.
Who goes insane.
Yes. Yeah, if we're talking about spoilers, that's when I was really sold on the movie. Was that concept of him like, I kind of like it here because I don't have to move on. That's kind of one of the themes of the movie.
Yeah.
Not being able to let go or move on. And that him kind of understanding the place on like a philosophical level versus like Mark Duplass's character. They're trying to figure it out on like a scientific level.
And Mary's trying to figure it out on an emotional level.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's good stuff.
Just letting everything else kind of feel like a natural reaction to that, and letting people have to create their own vocabulary for it themselves and their own way of framing it and trying to reckon with what on earth this thing is that makes no sense.
Despite the long, dull parts, it has a surprising amount of complexity and depth to it. That's woven in subtly and doesn't hit you over the head.
Yeah.
At first I was worried about that because of what the two characters' professions were and some of the dialogue in the beginning, but then they just sort of like let that go. They're like, that's what they are, deal with it. Here's what's going to happen, and watch what we've set up come to fruition later.
Yeah.
as the little tidbits you get from Mary and her past, and she carries around a little rock. Again, kind of blunt symbolism, but it's not a rock. It's a piece of the driveway where she has a fond memory of her and her mother making handprints in the wet cement.
She kept it after they demolished the place.
And then she's always kept it with her, and she keeps it with her. And then symbolically, she uses that to smash the head in of
the pirate monster,
the giant pirate monster, intercut brilliantly with little frames of the actor himself, and then the grotesque mask.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all the grotesque freaks. Wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Can we talk about that? We're in spoilers. So these characters that now just exist in here, the moment he's like, oh, and you can eat them. It's like, oh, okay, now I love this. But that idea that like, they're like, deformed versions of people that exist out in the real world, and that like multiple series of eyes was making me sick. I can't look at that kind of imagery. Like, it genuinely makes me nauseous. My brain can't process it. And that's all stuff I really thought this was just gonna be, you go through the wall and you end up in a creepy place. I didn't think that was gonna, like, the actual Backrooms itself was gonna have more of a thematic weight to it.
Right. Yeah.
So I was very pleasantly surprised by that.
If you actually had a doorway like in the movie, would you go in, and how much time would you spend?
No,
Just the overall philosophy of you go out and you have a
I know
plan.
you're going to be asked this by other people, but if you actually had a doorway like in the movie, would you go in, and how much time would you spend?
Like reactionary. It was mostly just like Greg, who I was editing with, who's great and is a wizard on this project. Like he and I
would you go in, and how much time would you spend?
Duplass is introduced, and he's with his family. He's making popcorn.
They're watching the Never-Ending Story.
They're watching Never-Ending Story, which is about
going into another world.
Going into another world. A little touch there, there's a shot which was a little corny where it like rack focuses to like a framed article where it's like company awarded $100 million grant by U.S. government. It's like a newspaper article.
Oh, that's fine. There wasn't like a 10-minute exposition scene. It's fine.
It was like, okay, that's classic Sam Raimi directing there. It was like, okay. And then, they cut to him earlier on. They tease him when he's running the camera that's in the back rooms.
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh God, we're going into Stranger Things territory where we have this evil corporation that had a military experiment that went wrong and we tried to accelerate nuclear particles to a new kind of energy, and it exploded, and it created a rift in space-time where people and birds can fall, and furniture can fall into this parallel dimension, and we can't control it, and it's getting bigger. And by the end,
I don't know what this is.
By the end of the movie, you and Clark will be running as the Empire State Building falls into the, nope. And
it almost had a different kind of unsatisfactory ending. I thought when she comes running out and she sees the guys in hazmat suits and it cuts to black for a minute, I was like, oh, it's going to be one of those endings where nothing's resolved. It just kind of stops. But then it kept going, and then I got worried again. I was like, oh, now we're going to get exposition. And then we didn't get that. And then we ended on like the perfect creepy, not satisfying that the movie's like a positive ending, but perfect ending for this story in a way that's creepy and haunting.
And haunting, yes. Disturbing psychological element to it, and it's like it's about the passage of time, changes in people's lives, the house, her childhood home, his marriage. They're all both. Did she have some kind of family situation?
She was at like a lunch party or something at one point. I don't know who those characters were. We just see them briefly.
Yeah.
Just to show that she has a social life.
Yeah, she has that party, but she's also sort of like an empty person because she's selling those like the book on tape, like self-therapy or whatever, and it's on like late night TV, and I'm assuming no one's buying it because they cut to her on like a dumpy couch, and she's obviously not a super successful therapist because she's not. They don't portray her in that way, like a nice fancy house with all that. So, both characters.
The fact that he lives in his furniture store, can't leave it, can't let go.
Yeah, they both have past trauma, and the Backrooms reflects that in a visual way and a metaphorical way. I mean, it's like it's the best way you could have turned this internet thing into a movie.
I think so, yeah.
For us, for people who would appreciate it as kind of a thoughtful, kind of scary movie. I wasn't really scared.
No, it's just consistently kind of like unsettled. It had that like hum to
it. It was unsettling. It had some creepy imagery, but I think there's probably a good number of people out there who wanted more like action, chasing, horror, scares, jump scares.
I will say in general though, it's nice between like people are going crazy about Obsession. This movie is people are excited for. It's doing really well. Not only movies made by younger people, but they seem to be attracting a younger audience. Like actually like thoughtful, well-crafted movies are gaining popularity because we've talked about this, like the younger demographic are not going to movies as much. And I think it's because they're not interested in shit like Mandalorian and Grogu. So for movies like this to do well, there's what's her name? Jane Schoenbrunn, who did I Saw the TV Glow. She has a new movie coming out that looks great. Younger filmmakers that are doing stuff that is appealing to a younger audience without it feeling like it's talking down to anyone. They're actually like interesting movies.
Making art.
The only thing we're missing are people that are doing that aren't making horror films. And I love horror movies, but they're all horror now. You don't have like Paul Thomas Anderson making Boogie Nights in his early 20s.
I think that's a cultural thing, Jay.
Sure.
Because imagine being a young person, like you grew up, your life was kicked off by 9/11. Wars, political unrest.
I saw someone point out that Kane Parsons was born after YouTube existed.
Yeah.
Which kind of threw me off.
Sure. But like school shootings and identity politics and
the horrors of reality.
The horrors of reality. The fucking COVID, which lasted 3 years, and a lot of I'm sure Kane Parsons is young enough to where he was in grade school when COVID was happening.
I find it so interesting that you start by making these videos by yourself on Blender. You even said during the pandemic, tail end of pandemic.
I learned Blender.
Well, that's when the Backrooms kicked off, because it's about isolation and people are watching it at home because they can't go anywhere.
I think he was rendering all that stuff during the pandemic.
Yeah, he was.
So you got political unrest, the 2020 George Floyd protests, and so many things have happened in the very short span of young people who are in their early 20s, mid 20s now. When have they have come of age? Mm-hmm. Like when you and I came of age, we had Green Day and Bill Clinton had a sex scandal.
That was in the news for weeks. Nowadays, that would be in the news for half a day.
I think that's to be said. This is a topic for someone more scholarly than me who wants to analyze this. But the prior generation, hiding under their desks for the Cold War, nuclear attack, Vietnam.
I was going to bring that up in relation to Curry Parker, because Curry Barker. He's doing a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and it's like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre was influenced by Vietnam. That idea that the movies are horror movies specifically are influenced by what's going on in the culture at the time, the torture porn stuff in the early 2000s. This is kind of just like the current version of that. Isolation.
Yeah.
There's always that talk of the loneliness epidemic of younger people.
Yep. Social media. That's another thing to bring up. Yeah, that contributes to isolation, and the Instagram people bragging about their lives and looking fantastic. We're going to here and we're adding filters to our face to disguise what we really look like, and how that messes with the psychological element of a young person growing up, trying to fit in.
So, and some of that is in Obsession too. That kind of I guess the incel mentality. There's a little bit of that in Obsession.
Yes.
It's all interesting stuff.
Who is that guy, that kid who shot a bunch of people?
Elliot Rodger?
Yeah, these are the people that are going to be making movies now, and
sure.
Don't be surprised that they're all horror films, okay? I want to tell a heartwarming science fiction story about the positive direction of humanity.